bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. So I talk a lot on my channel about barriers that I run into due to differences in ways of life. I thought I would talk about what I think an ideal universe would be. I think in the ideal universe, people would learn to derive enjoyment out of nature as opposed to needing stronger and stronger things to derive enjoyment, right? We need stronger and stronger foods. We need stronger and stronger drugs. We need stronger and stronger noise levels. I'm going to get to the noise levels in a second, among other things. And I think it's just wrong. Like earlier, let's think about what I ate today. I love uh, bananas, and I get a lot of enjoyment out of it. A lot of times I hear colleagues or friends tell me that you need to enjoy your life a little bit and eat some junk food, maybe drink a little bit. Maybe yesterday I got into an argument with a friend. He was asking me how I come up with money to invest in bismuth. And after we had talked a little bit, he talked about smoking weed and all that. And I asked him, "Well, how often do you smoke weed?" And we estimated that he spent the equivalent of a half ton of bismuth a year on weed alone. And he probably does other things, right? I would imagine he probably drinks quite regularly as well. And why would you do that when you can get all the enjoyment you want? And some of this stuff doesn't even cost money. Some of the stuff saves you money as you're enjoying, right? So, for example, intermittent fasting gives me a lot of joy. Intermittent sleep deprivation also gives me some joy from time to time, and those things actually, the intermittent fasting saves me money, right? Intermittent sleep deprivation sometimes also makes me money, right? So you don't even have to spend money to do that, and yet people need to use stronger and stronger stuff for whatever bizarre reason, right? We can never seem to get enough. In an ideal universe, I wish people came in millions of different colors and millions of different genders, and in that way there would no longer be judgment or bias, right? You would, every day you go out, you would see a new gender that you've never seen before, right? Wouldn't that be nice, right? And we would all be forced to accept each other for who we are, right? In an ideal world, people would be more curious to learn new things, right? And wouldn't be stuck in their old ways, right? So, for example, my friend who was asking me how to come up with money to invest in bismuth is stuck in a rut that he needs marijuana for some reason. He refuses to see outside of that bubble, right? But that's not the only time people do that, right? People refuse to see outside of their comfort zone when there's so many great things out there, right? Just look at investing in bismuth, right? How many people are investing in gold only and not looking outside of the box? How many people uh, I really do think we miss out on a lot of stuff. Careers, especially, people refuse. The number of people who need a career pivot in a given year is probably a lot higher than those who actually undergo it. But people get stuck in a way, right? And our culture makes it very difficult to shift as well, right? Because, so for example, right now, I would really love to move out of the Phoenix area, but I finally, at long last in my career, have a job that is the least toxic of all the jobs that I've ever run across, right? But I can't make any friends here. The climate here is terrible. We just had a 6 month heat wave, and then all the activities I want to go to are so far away from each other. Job sites are far away. And I think part of the reason that so many employers are refusing to acknowledge remote work is that it would make employees too malleable, right? They would be free to see all these options. And so that's the last thing employers want, right? So I think there needs to be some kind of revolt to get that across, right? Now, getting back to the excessive stuff that we need in order to be happy, I was looking at some speed dating events on Facebook, but unfortunately, my dream is for a speed dating event to happen at a library or at a park or somewhere really quiet. That would be my ideal situation. If anybody knows of an event like this, feel free to let me know. Every time I suggest it, it gets laughed out. And but I meet a lot of people. It's never a speed dating event, but the times that I have met people have been at quiet events. Let's talk about the last couple of times. I was at during COVID. I had a favorite Thai restaurant, And so I met a girl through one of the employees there. It was her daughter. I was at the King County Library when I was in Seattle, Washington, when I met another important figure in my life. Not dating material, but important figures in my life. I was living in a shared house just like this one in New York when I met another important girl in my life. And there was also this one's probably the most loud environment where I met a girl, but I was at a backgammon tournament, and I was at a backgammon tournament in Seattle, Washington. Uh, I wish I had more money for playing backgammon. Some of those games can get really expensive. I don't have a gambling problem or anything, but I just don't have the money to gamble it. I was at another backgammon tournament in New York. They have a big one in Jersey City every year. And I was watching this game, and these two well-dressed people. That's what caught my eye, suit and tie and all that. I was watching, and one of the guys says to me, "Excuse me, but this is $1,000 a point game. Can you please leave us alone?" And it reminded me. I wish I had a lot of money because it reminded me of the movie Dumb and Dumber when these two idiots go to this dinner and it's a $500 a plate dinner. Goodbye. I said, "Oh, $500. Here's 4,000 just in case we want more." Right? It kind of reminds me of that. I wish I had the money to do. Someday, after I make it big with my art career, I'm going to go back to that tournament in New York and go watch that game again. Maybe dress really badly so people won't know that I actually have all that money, right? Hey, can you leave us alone? This is $1,000 a point game. Okay, here's $1,000,000. Let's play, right? I can't wait to do. I really can't wait to do that. I really can't. Go there with a suitcase full of $100 bills, or better yet, gold coins, or even bismuth coins at that point, right? And just go, oh, let's play. Here's $1,000,000, right? I can't wait to do that. I really can't. That's ever since I left that tournament. That was 6 years ago. I've been wanting to go back to New York just to do that because it's very offensive how I've been locked out of playing backgammon because of how expensive it is. It feels like you ever look at a website and it's behind a paywall. All this great opportunity for romance, for connections, for learning new backgammon strategy is just stuck behind this giant paywall, right? It just really sucks, and I'd like to just break through it once I make it big with my art projects. I can't wait to do that. I will live stream it the day I do that. This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.